What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Cowboy Capone. It's Wednesday. It's a Whiskey Wednesday. Tonight, kind of solo. It's all good. Life happens. It's all good. Not upset at all. But I feel like tonight, come on for a little bit and just talk. Everybody's had a fairly good weekend. We got the eclipse happening very soon. Everybody's super pumped about that. I'll be honest with y'all. I'm not truly that eager to watch it. Very not really into that stuff, but I guess you can say it should be interesting to kind of see what happens here in the state. I mean, everybody's probably gonna act like a bunch of fools. Um, but yeah, hopefully everybody's been having a great week since the last time I was on here. I did do a show last week with my pops. Love that man to death, and the fact we get to talk about just the bridge, and just the memories we have of the bridge and how everybody how the Key Bridge has affected a lot of people. So tonight I kind of want to have a mellow night. It's very, very quiet in the Cawthorn household. Where little one's off to bed. The other little one is going to bed, as I should say. And I kind of just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys. There was a segment today that really caught my attention. And it's I'm trying to figure out how to put this. It was off of a radio station that I listen to every morning, and it started out with a guy talking about social anxiety, and not being yourself in groups. And I feel like that's stuff that people can kind of relate to, myself included, and a bunch of other guys that I know. We can all relate to it, but it brought up a very good conversation on the radio of things that make you uncomfortable, things that make you uneasy. I wonder if you could say that. So I want to come on here and kind of, open this up as like almost Whiskey Wednesday therapy, if you want to call it that. For everybody who's joined in so far, it's kind of what I want to do is kind of just, if you want to talk, bring it, come on and talk. We're never going to judge anything like that. Especially someone like me. I'm fat and I've been judged all my life, so I'm kind of at the wit's end of everything just over my head. I'm done. But I kind of want to get this started with a little bit of what my thoughts are on this. Everybody can watch these shows. They can say, "Oh, you guys are, your crew, you guys are just, awesome behind the mic. You guys just have this chemistry that's amazing," or you have just a certain meshing that not a lot of people have. I'll be honest with you guys. I've known Brandon for forever. It seems like we've grown up with each other since like third, fourth grade. Marco and I just met last year, year before, something like that. But it we all gained a massive um like respect for each other, to where, when we started this whole brand, this whole podcast situation with us, it it showed who we really are. It showed our true colors, where we could be ourselves. We can be the people who we were raised to be, honestly. um so with that being said, let's start it off with myself. um Everybody knows who I am. I'm Cowboy Capone. uh that's not really, of course, my name. My name is TJ. um I am about to be 30 years old. I am old, I know. No gray hairs yet. Um, and I play football. I love it. I love the guys on my team. They're family to me. I have two amazing kids and an amazing wife, and I wouldn't change the world for that. Um, Outside of this podcast, guys, I am probably one of the most approachable guys you'll ever meet. Um, it was something that my wife always says: anywhere I go, I know somebody. If I'm walking the mall, I know somebody. If I'm Damn, the other week, I think we were getting gas in a different county, and I knew somebody. And my wife's just like, you know everybody. You're such a social butterfly, and that's who I am. But I also have a very big I don't want to call it like a tolerance, but it kind of is like a tolerance with groups of people, and just being around people for a long time. It kind of gets to me at a certain point, um, which is social anxiety and stuff like that. Now, when I finally found out how I can smooth that out, it was more or less of just taking myself out of the situation, taking myself out of the conversation, walking away, regrouping myself, calming down, grabbing a drink, if I'm at a party or something, going to, grabbing a bite to eat, just walking around, and then maybe coming back to it and seeing how I feel from there. Majority of the time, it has been very good for me. And that's how I've become myself on this podcast. A lot of times when you guys watch, I may look tired as hell. Be honest with you, I probably am. Or I may just be mopey. But coming of age of what I am, that's where it is. So I think when you think of certain ways that people say, like, oh, I behind the mic, this is a completely and totally different person. And I 100% agree. If anybody, like I said, anybody meets me outside of this, dude, I'll give you a high five, we'll talk, we'll drink, whatever. I've made so many friends through this that, it's been a whirlwind where I really was to myself a lot. And nowadays, I can just go out and have fun. I've had people on the other podcast that I was on would watch it. And I actually had a gentleman walk up to me and was like, hey, you're on this podcast. And I said, yeah, that's me. He goes, man, I watch your podcast all the time. And he was like, you guys are awesome. He's like, but you alone just crack me up. And he's like, I can see myself through you. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, that's what I want. And that same person followed me to this one. And I saw him again, and he said, dude, this has been the best decision of yours and of Marco's. This has been the best decision we've had, is start our own thing. I'll be honest with you guys, I 100% agree. I do miss Troy, I do miss Brad, and a couple of the other guys there. But I feel like this was better for us because the way that I am, the way that Marco is, and the way that Brandon is just conflicted with everybody. We're off the walls, bad shit crazy. I mean, I know it's supposed to be like a family show, but we're legitly bad shit crazy guys. Like, you get us on a good night and we'll bicker and argue. I mean, if there was a way to show you guys our group chat that we have, it literally looks like we've been brothers since birth, and we're yelling at each other. because that's just how we are. And when we when we look into it, that's kind of what you want, is a great mesh with this. And that's what we have. I can yell at Brandon can say something stupid to me, and we're good. Like, we'll take it on the chin. If we don't show our true colors, how can we have fun on this podcast? Everybody who watches this, we have our regular listeners or regular viewers, however you want to say it. We have those guys. Then we have people coming on that we've shared the groups with, and they're just new to this. They've never seen these episodes, and they see some bearded dude in a backwards hat and football jerseys behind them, kind of just mellow. And then you've got, Brandon, the loudmouth of the North. Love you, bud, but it is true. And you got, Marco. Us three together should never mesh whatsoever. But we do, because we can get each other. Holy shit. Whew. Like I said, guys, I'm getting old. I'm tired shit. But that's the thing. We can all mesh because of just how how we are as people. I'll be honest with you guys. I think the first few episodes we had were very, like, you could cut the tension with a knife, and not even just any knife, but like one of those birthday knives, like crappy little plastic ones. You just cut it, because we didn't know how this was going to go. And ever since we've all come together as a group and figured out what we wanted, what we saw for this, dude, everything is great. Behind closed doors, you guys don't see everything, but I'll be honest with you guys, there's really nothing to hide. And if you guys want to see what we talk about, a lot of times we're on X. So if you follow myself, Cowboy and the Boys on X, dude, you'll see what we talk about. A lot of times it's sports. A lot of times it's life. I think a few times I've commented on some things. Marco posts a lot about sports and his conspiracy theories, which is, love you, Marco, but that's funny as hell to look at sometimes. But that's us. It's a three-headed monster that we have, that we could take this thing to the top. Now, do I think this is going to be like a 1 million view video in the next 3 months? Hell no. But I feel like with what we have as a group, collectively, will help us out. And that's helped all of us out mentally. A good majority of the time, maybe we're not in the right mental spot. Maybe our anxiety is going through the roof. Mine, for example, was always going through the roof. But stuff like this, talking to you guys in, just a chill manner. Like, there's no alcohol involved. There's no prompter behind me. There's nothing that I have on my screen telling me, hey, you got to say this at this point. No, this is raw, uncut. This is us. We do this stuff live. It's fun. We enjoy it. We enjoyed talking to you guys, interacting with you guys, and this is us. So off of that little heart to heart, if you want to call it, I want to talk to you guys about something that, to me, brings joy to my life. Maybe to others as well. But it's collecting stuff. Now, I know a lot of people are like, dude, you just went from heart to heart to now we're talking about collections. I think every adult needs a hobby. If it's collecting cars, collecting coins, I mean, collecting checks is great, but if you're working for a living, you collect a check every week, so it doesn't really help you there. But in general, just collecting things. Now, I will be honest with you guys. My wife, I think I've put her through the ringer with my collections. Like it'll go for like months on end, and then finally it just like dissipates. And it goes down, and then I find something else, and that goes months on end, and then it dissipates. Um, but the ones that I've stuck true to, more recently than not, have been like baseball cards, football cards, and die casts. Now, if you also watch the show a lot, you'll notice I'll always have a different hat. I love hats. I don't think there's been a day that I haven't worn a hat. And if I have been on a podcast without a hat on, I was probably either sick or just woke up and was like, screw it. I mean, I have hats. Literally looking around the room right now, I have 5, 6 hats maybe, and it just brings joy to me, as well as jerseys. I love collecting jerseys. The one behind me is my jersey. This one right here is also my jersey as well. But if you guys watched last week's episode, I did have a different jersey back there. I threw this one up because my season starts up. So a lot of times I'll switch it off. And people will, notice that, and they'll be like, "Hey, I saw you switch your jersey. What's the case?" Honestly, maybe it's to change the scenery. Maybe I want to put this one up. Maybe next week this one goes back here, or the one I have over my side of the bed comes over here. It depends on what I'm feeling. And it's all random. Now, what I do want to do is kind of do something like that, where maybe this stays up for a little bit, and then right when I take it down, somebody's like, "Hey, I noticed your number 51 Warriors jersey not on the wall, but your 42 Naval Academy lacrosse jersey is up there." Yeah, I got jerseys. I got a whole bin of jerseys in the hallway. I got a few jerseys in the closet right next to me. It's something I like. I can express myself through that. Or a lot of times what I like to do is just show off my pride for that school. For instance, like I said, if y'all watched last week, on my wall last week was a Navy jersey. I have it right here. I will put this probably back on the wall, or if not, probably right here. I do love my Navy jersey. What up, Nas? But I do love my Navy jersey. It's a team local to me, and it's something that I truly enjoy. Now, with this jersey next to me, it may go back here next week. Who knows? I may have where this jersey belongs to the person on here. And that's the thing. Like, if you guys watch this and you want me to post something of your team, organization, something like that, let me know. I definitely will do it. I love doing stuff like that, shouting you guys out, just having fun. But at the same time, I want to get people's brands out there. The Warriors, for instance, we're in the AAL too. It's a great league. I've played in it. This is year 2 for me to play in this. Great band of brothers that I've played with. I need a Browns jersey back there. You know what, Nas, I'll be honest with you. If you were to put a Browns jersey back here, I'd have to think of a good player to put back here. No lie. Like I would let you do that, but I got to figure out a player who I'd want back here. Not just any player would go up here. But I want to support. If I lose a bet, I'll put a jersey back here. I'll get a jersey and put it back here. I'll never be like, "Hey, that's staying up there." I enjoy having fun with this and being able to express myself and what I enjoy with you guys as well. I've said this before. I have a lot of hobbies, a lot of collecting. I have 2 Lego cars on my TV. It's a Gravedigger and the Too Fast, Too Furious Skyline. Love those two cars to death. They actually built them. They were supposed to be for my daughter, but I took them because I didn't want her to lose that stuff. And I've been wanting actually the Too Fast, Too Furious Skyline, so I built that myself, and it's mine. But with the car itself, I have a couple die casts on my desk. And maybe one of these days, once we all get stuff settled, maybe one of these days, myself and Marco and all of us can take a picture of what's on our desk. I want to build the Star Wars spaceship. Which one? Because they have like 50 of them. Be specific there, bud. But no, I'm with you. I want to build one too. My next like build that I want, it's the is it like the Tactic or something like that? It's a NASCAR that they have. Really sick. It's a Camaro ZL1. I love that one. But on my desk, all right, I have 2 die casts of Dale Earnhardt, who was my all-time favorite NASCAR racer ever. I loved him and Jeff Gordon. Those are my 2 guys. When I got older, I started liking Kyle Busch just because he won. I mean, that was kind of the thing in NASCAR. Like, you rooted for Kyle Busch or Jimmy Johnson. I didn't like Jimmy Johnson at all. I was a Kyle Busch guy. Well, then Austin Dillon took the number 3. So now I'm an Austin Dillon fan. I have 2 hats on my desk. I have an O's hat and a Keams Ranch hat. I have a good bottle of number 7. Great bottle of number 7. I have 2 baseballs. I have a Texas Longhorn helmet and a Longhorn Funko Pop. And I have my grandfather's pin when he was in the Navy. So that shows all the, all the things I like to collect. And I also have trading cards. I'm going through my trading cards right now. If you guys want to see the trading cards. And it's a good thick set. I gotta figure out what I have. Maybe resell them. Who knows? Figure out what to do with them. But that's kind of, the stuff that I like to do. Now, it could be a different hobby than yours. A lot of people like to read books. A lot of people like to crochet, knit, play video games. Some people just like to stay home and clean. Weird hobby. I'm not gonna lie. If I ever find somebody that does that, might need to get you in the psych ward. No offense. But that, it's all to the person. Now, I will say, probably the coolest hobby I've ever seen, and I really wish I had the money to do it, is car flipping, which is awesome. You go buy cars, any car that you've wanted, and you build it up and you flip it. I want to do that. What else? I mean, there's a lot of good hobbies in here, but it talks about the person. I'm a sports guy. Marco has a bunch of things behind him on his desk that are,